Hey everybody, Mr. Wagner here. We are getting really close to having pong13, pong14, all this, well, pong in general running. So it's getting good. Right now, let's see here, we are dealing with pong14, but let me go ahead and run and I'll show you what we had at the end of pong13. Basically, you'd hit the space bar and it would go to the next ball, okay? Now, if you look at this, you know, you and me, we know that you hit the space bar and it goes to the next thing, but whoever user is out there, they have no idea. So I think personally, it would be really nice to have like a, I don't know, like a message in the middle that says, press the space bar to continue, right? Okay, so let's see what we can do there. I think that's a good thing we can do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to define another font because this one is defined as 100. So it's, you know, it's pretty big. So let's create another font and we're going to call this, oops, I didn't quite click right, did I? We're going to call this my small font equals pygame dot font dot sys font none, and we're going to say like maybe 40 because we want it kind of like half the size. Okay, now as I was creating this earlier, I also added the color gray, G-R-A-Y, equals 128, 128, 128. So this will give us a nice gray. And what I'm looking for is I just want, the text to sort of stand out or something. So that's what I use. Now I have my small font is this. And the other thing that I want to do in here is I want to type in message equals, and then this is a message, okay? And ultimately we're going to be using this message in various places to pop up a message for the user that we're using. Okay, so let's see if we can get that message to pop up. And where we would do that is basically where we're doing all of our drawing commands, and that's at the bottom here. Like line 150, line 151. I'm gonna go ahead, well, let's just type this one. We're gonna say text image equals my small font, because we wanna use the smaller font, right? Dot render. And then here we're actually gonna be passing the message in here, okay? So we're not going to be putting quote, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to put a message, true. And let's do gray. And actually, let's do white and gray. Something like that, right? And then screen dot blit. I love the word blit. Text image, and where are we going to put this? We'll put this at, just looking at my notes here, 200, 200. Okay, so 200, 200. Okay, now let's run it. And we got a message up there, so that's kind of nice. Now what we wanted to do is we want to hit, press space bar and then the message goes away and all that. And that's where we're going next. Okay, so we have that going on, but we wanted to be able to pop up that message to say something and then the message to go away, right? To begin with, let's go ahead and on line 55, instead of saying this is a message, we are just going to put quote, quote, okay? And that's a special type of string. And a string is basically a bunch of characters together. So your name is a string, okay? A message, but that string has nothing in it. So this is an empty string, okay? And a string, like I said, is just a bunch of alphanumeric characters right after each other, okay? So our message is nothing. So if I were to run this, nothing would pop up because it didn't have anything to draw, okay? So our message is nothing. But let's see what we can do with that message, okay? So let's scroll down and take a look at our left and our right things, okay? And I want you to notice here, this line 102 and 110 are different only because it's like left score, right score. But lines 104 through 107 and 111 through 114 are exactly the same, okay? So what I want to do here is I want to create a variable that we're going to use. It's a Boolean variable, and Boolean variables mean basically true or false, one or the other. And we're going to make it similar to this game running variable. Okay, we are going to say, we're going to create a variable and we are going to call it ball stopped equals false. Okay, because when we start the game, the ball's moving, right? The ball's moving. So the ball is moving, the ball stopped is false, right? Okay, so let's see what we can do with that ball stopped is false. Now, if I come down here and I say line 103, if ball X, if we're going off the right side, then we're going off the left side, going off the right side, so the right score goes up 1, right? So what we're going to do here is we are going to type in ball stopped equals true, okay? And similarly, we're also going to say ball stopped equals true, okay? Because I want you to notice, because these lines 107 through 110 are exactly equal to 115 to 118, we're going to leverage that. And we're going to say, I'm going to come right here on line 116, we're going to say if ball stopped equals true, right? Then we're going to do this stuff. So therefore, I don't have to do it here, and I also don't have to do it here. Okay, so let's put some comments in here. Okay, so this area here is the ball goes off the right, is that correct, side. And then here, the ball goes off the left side, okay? And all we're doing is we're increasing the score and we're stopping the ball. And then this little bit of code stops the ball. Okay, so if ball stopped is true, we're going to stop the ball. Okay, nice. Okay, so now the ball is stopped, but what we can do right here is we can put that message in. So we're going to say message equals press space to continue. Okay, press space to continue. How does that look? Okay, so let's run that and see what we get. So we hit run, nothing's happening, but the moment it went off that side, it says press space to continue, and then we continue, but it's still not doing something. So we got something a little bit screwy here, and my guess is we need to reset that ball stopped variable back to false in order to make our ball go again. And where we need to do that is we need to do that up here when we hit this space bar. So if event key is the space, then we say ball stopped equals false. Okay, so now we've stopped the ball and we reset the message back to nothing, okay? So, pretty clever. We have this variable, ball stopped as false, okay? So the ball stopped, the ball is moving because the ball is not stopped, okay? And then when we bounce off the right side, we increase the score by 1. We set the ball stopped variable to true. Then on line 115, we say, okay, if the ball is stopped, great. Here we stop the ball, the dx dy setting those to 0 stops the ball. Here we set the ball back into the center of the screen. Here we set our message back to press space to continue. The loop continues around until we hit a space bar, till you hit the space. In which case we get a new dx, new dy to go in whatever direction. We reset the ball x, ball y. We turn ball stop to false, so now the ball can move around again, and the message to nothing. Got it? A lot going on there, but that's how that logic works. And I suggest that you spend a little bit of time, maybe rewind this video and listen to what I had to say again, because it takes a little bit. Okay, let's run it. Pa, pa, pa. Okay, so it says press space to continue. I hit the ball. See how nicely this is working. Ha 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 ha. This is great. Whee, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Great. Okay, so actually I think we've done a lot of really good stuff in this lesson, this pong14. I think pong15, we're going to add just a little bit more code in here to get the game to stop, you know, when one of the scores gets to 10, and then we'll continue on with that. Okay, so we'll get it to stop when it gets to 10, and then be able to reset the game and start over. All right, that sounds great, and looking forward to pong15, everybody. See you later.